Denial. You notice something feels off, but you brush it away. Maybe your thoughts feel slightly disorganized, or your emotions don't match the situation. But here's the trick. Your mind convinces you everything is normal. You ignore the signs because accepting them would mean something is wrong. This is where it begins. Small lapses in memory, slight confusion, moments where reality feels just a bit distorted. You walk into a room and forget why you're there or reread the same message without understanding it. You might even start avoiding situations that make you think too deeply. You tell yourself it's just stress, just lack of sleep, just a bad day. But here's the problem. Those explanations become your shield. The real danger is that denial delays awareness. The longer you stay here, the more your brain adapts to dysfunction. What feels strange today slowly becomes your new normal. And once that line shifts, it becomes harder to recognize how far you've drifted. Intrusive thoughts. Suddenly, your mind isn't as quiet as it used to be. Thoughts appear out of nowhere, unwanted and often disturbing. They don't feel like you, but they're happening inside your head. This is where it gets worse. These thoughts can be random, dark, or irrational. And the more you try to suppress them, the stronger they become. Your brain enters a loop repeating ideas you don't want. You start questioning yourself. Why am I thinking this? Does this mean something about me? You try to distract yourself, scroll your phone, turn on music, anything to escape the noise, but the silence always brings them back. You might even start avoiding quiet moments entirely. But here's the problem. The brain doesn't distinguish between important and unimportant thoughts when it's under pressure. It amplifies everything. Over time, these intrusive thoughts become louder, more frequent, and harder to ignore. They begin to blur the line between what you choose to think and what just appears, making your own mind feel unfamiliar and unpredictable. Emotional instability. Your emotions start to shift unpredictably, like a switch you can't control. One moment you feel fine, the next you're overwhelmed, angry, or deeply anxious for no clear reason. This stage is chaotic because it doesn't follow logic. Small things trigger big reactions. A simple comment can feel like an attack, and a minor inconvenience can feel catastrophic. This is where it starts affecting your daily life. You might snap at someone you care about, then immediately regret it. Or feel anxious in situations that never bothered you before. You might cancel plans, avoid conversations, or isolate yourself just to prevent reacting. The real danger is how convincing these emotions feel. They don't seem exaggerated in the moment. They feel completely justified. Your brain starts prioritizing emotion over reason, and that changes how you interpret everything. Relationships become strained because others can't predict your reactions. Inside your mind, it feels like you're losing control, but you still believe you're reacting normally. Paranoia. This is where your perception of reality starts to twist. You begin to feel like something is wrong, but you can't quite explain it. People seem different. Situations feel suspicious. You start connecting dots that may not exist. This is where it gets dangerous. Your brain tries to make sense of uncertainty by creating patterns, even false ones. You might think people are talking about you, watching you, or hiding something from you. You notice small details, a glance, a whisper, a pause, and your mind builds a story around it. You might replay conversations over and over, trying to find hidden meanings. You may even change your behavior based on these assumptions. The more you focus on these ideas, the more real they feel. Evidence becomes selective. You notice things that confirm your fears and ignore anything that contradicts them. Trust begins to break down, not just in others, but in reality itself. And once doubt takes over, it becomes difficult to separate truth from assumption. Detachment from reality. At this stage, the world starts to feel distant, almost unreal. It's like you're watching your life instead of living it. This is often described as feeling disconnected from your own body or surroundings. Colors may seem dull, sounds feel muted, and time doesn't move the way it used to. You might stare at your surroundings and feel like something is off, even if you can't explain why. The real danger is how subtle it can be at first. You might think you're just tired or overwhelmed, but this feeling deepens. Conversations feel harder to follow, and moments feel less real. You may feel like you're on autopilot, going through motions without truly being present. Even familiar places can feel strange. You begin to question what's real and what isn't. Your sense of identity can start to fade, making it hard to recognize yourself in your own thoughts and actions. Reality becomes unstable, like a shifting surface you can't quite stand on. Loss of control. This is where your thoughts, emotions, and actions stop feeling like they belong to you. You might act in ways that don't align with who you are or what you believe. It feels like something else is driving your behavior. This is where it gets intense. Your ability to regulate yourself weakens and impulses become stronger. You may say things you don't mean, react in ways you can't explain, or struggle to stop certain behaviors. You try to pause, to think, but the reaction happens before you can stop it. You might feel like you're watching yourself make decisions in real time without being able to intervene. The line between choice and compulsion begins to blur. You may even start fearing your own reactions. The real danger is that you're aware something is wrong, but you can't seem to regain control. That awareness creates fear, and fear amplifies the instability even more, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Distorted beliefs. Now, your mind starts building a new version of reality based on everything you've experienced so far. These beliefs feel completely real to you, even if they don't make sense to others. This is where it becomes difficult to come back. You might develop strong ideas that are resistant to logic or evidence. You may interpret neutral situations as meaningful or threatening. You might believe things about yourself or others that feel undeniable, even if they aren't grounded in reality. You may start forming conclusions that feel certain, even without proof. The brain is trying to create stability, but it's doing it with distorted information. These beliefs can shape how you see the world, other people, and yourself. The real danger is how convincing they are. They don't feel like beliefs, they feel like facts. And once your brain locks onto them, it becomes incredibly hard to let them go, even when reality tries to prove otherwise. Complete mental breakdown. This is the point where everything collapses at once. Thoughts, emotions, and perception all become overwhelming and chaotic. You can't process what's happening and your mind struggles to keep up. This is where it all peaks. You may feel intense fear, confusion, or even a complete shutdown. It can feel like your brain is overloaded, like too many signals are firing at once. Communication becomes difficult, decision-making feels impossible, and even simple tasks feel overwhelming. You might freeze, panic, or completely withdraw. You may not recognize yourself anymore, or feel like you've completely lost control of your own mind. In some moments, everything may go quiet, like your brain is trying to reset. In others, everything feels too loud and too fast at the same time. The real danger is that at this stage, you're no longer just experiencing symptoms, you're consumed by them. Everything feels urgent, intense, and uncontrollable, like your mind has reached its breaking point and can't stabilize on its own. And if you want more videos that break down the hidden patterns of human behavior, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. If you found this interesting, leave a like. It helps more than you think.